everybody's rolling in. So I was the first one here. You were the first one here. Yes, and I'm so happy. Yo, thank you, Jared. Jared, so it's going well. If you've never been here on a Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and if you're maybe new to me, my name is Gabby. Thank you for joining. This is a featured show on Meet Me, Scout, Plenty of Fish, and Zeus called In It Together with Gabby and Sammy. But tonight is a little different because the dynamic duo is not going to be together tonight. Sammy's sick. So I don't know if she'll be here in the chat. Hopefully she is though. So we're doing the show solo tonight. It's the and it's together with Gabby. That's but that's okay, guys. Because today's show is a little more lighthearted. Usually Sammy hits us with a lot of information about mental health. I have a little bit for you, and I have a scholarly article that I'll be referring to that I will have posted on Instagram, so you guys can refer to that. But um, but yeah, guys, if you're new to the show, Sammy's usually here with me. She's a licensed therapist, and we have discussions together and with featured guests about self development, self healing, and happier living. All things that we discuss, we relate to mental health in some way. And today, actually, before we get into today's topic, if you guys know how to read, you probably read today's topic in the description. But let's start off with our new segment, Tell Me Something Good. So we do this segment every week to kind of catch up with you guys to see what's going on. Our show was actually canceled last week because I was sick. Now it's Sammy's turn to be sick, so we're doing this show solo tonight. Go solo. You know that song? I don't know the words. It's okay if you don't know the song. But yeah, what's going on, guys? Tell me something good. I'd like to hear positive things that happened to you during the last couple of weeks. Big or small, I would love to celebrate all of these good things that are happening to us. Anna's moving. Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome, Anna. Congratulations. Moving is very stressful. My cousin Ash just moved to her new house also. Hello, Daniel. Hello, Cody. Hello, Dar. Welcome, everybody. Let me know in the chat something good that's been going on with you the past couple of weeks. Something good that's been going on with me. So I'll we'll talk about one thing that happened this week. So I woke up early this morning and I decided to do my miracle morning. And if you don't know what, you should definitely look up the book Miracle Morning and give it a read. I haven't finished it yet, but basically the way you start your day can impact the rest of your days. So I decided to start my day off by I listened to a daily podcast with my horoscope to kind of get my day started. I journaled about it, and then I lit up some incense and I saged my apartment and I meditated to an album called Ghost by Devin Townsend. It's like my go-to meditation album. So yeah, I started off my day pretty good. And yeah, anybody else have anything good that's been going on this past couple of weeks since we've been gone? Cody's birthday was yesterday. Oh, happy birthday, Cody. My birthday was also last week. So happy birthday to me. What's up, more? Well, guys, if anybody has anything else that they'd like to share or celebrate that's been good going on in the past couple of weeks, stick in the chat, send me a DM on Instagram. I'd love to hear from you guys. But our next segment would be tip of the week from a mental health therapist, but unfortunately Sammy's sick, so she isn't here to give us the tip. You'll have to, oh man, okay, never mind. Okay, I'll just keep my thoughts to myself. This isn't a regular live stream. I need Sammy here to keep me in check. Sammy, come back. Anyway, tip of the week is going to happen next week because Sammy's out. So I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. And if you're new here, my name is Gabby. This is In It Together with Gabby and just Gabby because Sammy's out. But on the show, we have conversations about topics related to self-development, self-healing, and happier living. And if you were here last week, actually, you weren't here last week because I wasn't even here last week because I was sick. But the week before that, the last episode of In It Together was about self-care. So we had Kim Possible on the show as well as Cap to talk a little bit about their self-care routines, how they changed over time, and to share with us some tips to make self-care a part of our daily lives because it's very important. So if you missed that episode, I have a YouTube channel in my bio. If you press my name, there's a YouTube channel there with all our past episodes, as well as my Instagram. If you guys want to press the Instagram button, it takes you to my personal one. Hit me with a follow, and then go into the bio of that Instagram, and that's where the show's Instagram is. So if you want to get special content about the show, see our resources, that's where you can check it out. So yeah, guys, this week we're going to be talking about live streaming and specifically content creators and how we positively impact this platform. So to give you a little rundown about what to expect today, Sammy isn't here, so we're not going to go into too much detail about education regarding mental health. I do have a resource I'm going to reference with some information for you. So we're going to have a pop quiz at the beginning of the show. We're going to talk a little bit about celebrities and live streamers and how we can impact the community with our following. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of insight about me as a live streamer, how I started live streaming, how this show came to be. And then we have 3 fellow content creators who are going to join us. We have Blake Premier. He is the host of Love Quest. We have Mojo with Name That Tune, and we have It's Jilly Baby, who has several shows on the app, but her featured content is referred to as Entanglements. So they're each going to get in the box, tell us a little bit about their shows, how they came to be, how they impact the community, and then all 4 of us are going to be in the box together, talking a little bit about live streaming in general and how we use the platform to impact our viewers. And if you guys are new to live streaming, or if you're interested in making your own show, please stay for the whole show, because you have an opportunity to ask all 4 of us questions about creating featured content. So this is a really good show for you if you're looking for some information. Write down your questions, because I am going to be in host mode. So thank you for the comments and the gifts. I may not acknowledge them until the end, but I see you and I appreciate you. So thank you guys for being here. Let's get into it, guys. So first things first, pop quiz. This is a true or false, and this is the only pop quiz we have on the show, and I hope you guys get it right. True or false? When celebrities or public influencers disclose information about their mental health to the public, it will negatively impact them and their fans will no longer support them. True or false? Yes, false. False, 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 false. And the reason being is because when celebrities or public influencers or live streamers talk about these things that maybe are, which take a lot of strength to talk about, by the way, when they bring these topics to the light, it encourages their fan base to say, hey, I want to know more about that. So they go out and they get educated, they do more research. I mean, it's proven in the article I'm going to refer to that when celebrities do say, like, hey, I have this problem, that there's an increase in the searches on that topic. So yes, it is actually a positive thing when celebrities do talk about their mental health or their well-being, whatever it may be. So today I'm going to be referencing, I'm going to make sure that I say it right here, because Sammy isn't here. This would be her part of the show, her segment, which is very educational. So I pulled a couple things out of there for reference. It's a journal called Health Communication, and it has, there's a search engine for it. You just go to researchgate.net, and you'll be able to go to a search engine and search for different publications and researchers. Obviously, this is all about communication. So the article title is How Video Streamers' Mental Health Disclosures Affect Viewers' Risk Perceptions. So I'll have that in my link tree on Instagram if you guys want to reference it. But yeah, one of the things it says on there, they refer to the World Health Organization, and this isn't new news. Sammy and I have probably talked about this 100 times on the show, but depression is probably one of the most popular, well, I really don't want to call it popular, but it's one of the most common mental health disorders that people have. So according to the World Health Organization, in 2017, there were 264 million Americans that had experienced depression in that year. And obviously depression can lead to a lot of things. Maybe not, I'm going to mention them all here, but eating disorders, sleep disorders, your immune system can take a hit. Obviously, like suicidal ideation and things like that can happen from depression, and it's a rough thing to go through. So That's why it's pretty cool that these celebrities and live streamers have this opportunity to kind of bring these things into the light, because it's so stigmatized, having conversations about these types of things. So there are, just to name a few, there are some celebrities who've openly come out and said, hey, um, I'm a human and I have mental health and this is what's going on with me. So to name a few, Lady Gaga, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Selena Gomez, Mariah Carey. I don't know their stories in particular, so you're going to have to go Google those for yourselves. But those are some celebrities who've openly talked about their mental health, and it's impacted their fan base, because they're like, oh, I freaking love Selena Gomez, and she's dealing with some stuff I'm dealing with, so that makes me want to talk about it more, right? So that's kind of the cool thing about being a celebrity, is that you have this ability to connect with so many more people. Unfortunately, a lot of us don't talk about it when we're depressed, and a really good example of this is Robin Williams. Unfortunately, he passed from suicide, and a lot of people didn't even know that this very happy person was having these kinds of thoughts, right? You imagine he probably felt pretty alone, because he's like, oh, I have to put on this persona all the time. Everybody thinks I'm this happy-go-lucky person, but really he's got some demons he's been dealing with. So when he did pass, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, according to this article, received 7,400 calls, which was 200% more than their normal influx of calls. So his passing really impacted a lot of people and got a lot of people to reach out to that resource, which is on my Instagram, by the way. If anybody ever needs to use it, I've used it a few times. It's a great resource. You don't even you can call. Trust me. Just do it if you got to do it. I promise you, it's good. I don't have Sammy here to be the educational person to be like, let me talk about education and be super professional. So I'm trying my best over here, everybody. But it's a good resource, really. Check it out on my Instagram. It's in my bio. If you press the button, we have some resources there for you. So we're not talking about celebrities today, guys. Obviously, we're talking about live streaming, specifically on Meet Me Scout, Plenty of Fish, and Zeus. So there are a type of celebrity called a micro celebrity, and these would be people on social media platforms such as this who have a pretty big following. So your top badges, you guys are micro celebrities. You could maybe argue that some of us content creators are, but you guys are top badges, and you guys have like a huge following. So you guys are the micro celebrities of this app. And that gives you a really unique opportunity to spread awareness about things that you're passionate about, rather it's mental health or something else. So just to name a few, because we are showcasing our content creator community today, I'm going to shout out a couple people. So Charm Charlie has a show called You've Got a Friend with Charm Charlie on Wednesdays at 5. And he talks about the disability community, and he brings light to that conversation. That's maybe something that people wouldn't normally talk about. So he is somebody who uses his platform to spread awareness for that. The second person I'm going to reference is More Mizrab. He has a couple shows on the app, but the one I'm going to reference is called The Forgiveness Project, which is every other Sunday, where he has people come on and tell their stories about their journeys of forgiveness, as well as some professionals to talk about forgiveness and how important it is to our everyday lives. It really is so important. And I had no idea until I saw his show. So definitely check out those two show creators. They're amazing individuals, and they use their platform to spread awareness, just like a lot of us do. So shout out to you guys. So sorry. I'm doing my best here, guys. I'm Gabby and Sammy tonight. But yeah, so these relationships that you have with celebrities, obviously you don't really have a relationship with a celebrity. Of course, you can kind of like follow them on social media and watch their shows and say, oh yeah, I totally know this person. But it's not the same as building relationships with live streamers. So this relationship you would have with me or with Jilly would be a parasocial relationship. So basically, it's the opportunity to have a more personal relationship with fans or viewers. So you might actually be able to have real conversations with them, get to know them, build friendships with them. So that's the difference between a celebrity and a micro celebrity. So it's pretty cool. We have this unique opportunity to kind of spread awareness. Like me, I use my platform to spread awareness about mental health, self-development, and self-healing. So if you are just tuning in, my name is Gabby. This is In It Together with Gabby and Gabby because Sammy's gone today. But usually I do have a mental health therapist, Sammy J, with me to bring some more education on the topics. But she is sick today, so it's the Gabby show today. And that's okay because today's show is a little lighter. We're talking about live streaming and content creators and how we can use our platform to bring light to things that might be stigmatized to talk about and how we can just positively impact the community. So let's talk a little bit about me. So I'm Gabby. I'm a live streamer, if you didn't know. But I started my live streaming journey in September of 2018. So it's been 3 years now that I've been on the app. I actually discovered the app through my cousin and top badge, Ash Marie. She had discovered it a month before I decided to join. And the app is very different now than it used to be. Very, very different. Definitely more content driven now than it used to be. But that's where I started. I didn't really know what I was doing. I had no idea that I'd be a show creator, let alone a show creator that talks about this kind of stuff. So it's really cool to see how the app has transformed and how I've transformed with it. Pretty cool. So my show, guys, you might be wondering, you're not a therapist, Gabby. Why do you want to talk about mental health? Why is that something you're passionate about? Well, guys, I have had a very long journey involving a lot of trauma. I won't go into too much detail with it, but um, once I decided to be accountable for my traumas and decided that it was time to try to take it all head on, understand like what happened, try to there's a lot. If you guys saw me today at 4 p.m., I was on live with Dr. Marissa, and I actually told her a lot of information about my experiences and my growth. So it's pretty intense. A lot of abuse, a lot of psychological and physical abuse, homelessness, um things like that. But I decided to take that step to get professional help. I stayed in a facility for 10 days. I had an end of life plan, which was terrifying, 3 years ago. And it opened my eyes to so many things. It opened my eyes to so much life, to so much about myself. I had no idea. I had no idea who I was. And that experience gave me the ability to not only take control of my life, but to also be able to help other people. It was recommended to me by a therapist at that facility that I should consider going into this field because I have a gift for it, is what she said. School's a lot of money. I'm actually transforming I'm transforming into a substance abuse counselor assistant in a couple of weeks. I'm taking classes, so I am starting to actually get into the field, which is really, really cool, and it's going to make me more credible on the show. So I'm really excited to be able to really impact people in another way. But this show was the way to do it. In the meantime, I might not be a therapist, but I met Sammy through a friend, and we decided to team up and start the show together to spread awareness. So we've gotten a lot of great feedback, and we continue to get a lot of good feedback, and we continue to, every day I learn something new because the stuff is out of my scope because I am not a therapist. But it's really cool. I get to learn new things. I get to teach you with Sammy new things, and it's really rewarding to be able to help people through the show. So yeah, as a live streamer, I feel like my mental health has gotten a lot better. My confidence has gotten a lot better. I'm able to more confidently build relationships and friendships with people. I'm able to speak my mind and be my authentic self. And in the past, I may have not been quite that confident to do that type of thing. So live streaming has its benefits, has its downfalls too. Don't get me wrong, but it's mostly been a good thing for me in my life. So if you guys just tuning in, my name is Gabby. This is In It Together with Gabby and Sammy. Sammy is a mental health therapist. Unfortunately, not here with us today because she is sick. But we do have three amazing guests who are going to join us today to talk about their content that they create that is featured, how they were motivated to create the content, how it impacts the community. That we're all going to come together and talk about live streaming in general and how we're able to spread awareness on different things that we might be passionate about. So we have Blake Premier, Mojo, and it's Jilly Baby who are going to be joining us. Blake, I'm going to have you join in first. If you'd like to jump in the box, we're going to talk a little bit about your show and your motivations. This is Blake's second time on the show also, so thanks for joining us for the second time. Hello.
What is going on? Great start to the show.
Oh, thank you, Blake. I feel kind of weird without my right hand man, you know.
No, you did great. When I'm without Dr. Morgan, I'm like, what am I doing here?
I felt that. Well, guys, this is Blake. For those of us who don't know you, introduce yourself. Tell us how you got into live streaming, and tell us about your featured show.
Sure. Yeah, I'm Blake. I started, wow, it's been almost a year and 8 months. Started like a lot of us. I was in lockdown, missing a piece of connection. And I found the app through Plenty of Fish and slowly transitioned from Plenty of Fish to Meet Me. And yeah, once I got on the app, I quickly realized I wanted to do my own content. So yeah, pretty early on when I started streaming, I wanted to differentiate myself. And when I first started, probably within the first 3 weeks, I was doing 3 shows as I started my live journey.
Wow, that's impressive. One show is already hard enough to juggle. Man, I wow. I know I don't know if Mojo has more than one show, but I know that Jilly also has multiple shows on the app. So it's really impressive that you guys are able to like live your lives outside of the Meet Me community and then also have this be so involved on here. So kudos to you. Have you ever live streamed before you joined this app?
Not really. I've been involved in projects with social media. I was on a Facebook live dating show. I've done some Instagram work, but I'd never even heard of live streaming before I discovered Meet Me.
That's very interesting. Well, a live Facebook dating show. That sounds
Yeah.
very interesting. So tell us a little bit about Love Quest. How did it begin?
So it was kind of my initial thought as I was like, oh, I want to do a bachelorette style show. So that was actually the way it started. Quickly early on, I realized it was like a lot to do. As Ash, your cousin, knows, it's a lot to handle. And I also noticed that like during the show, people kept like asking like dating questions and stuff like that. And I already had a relationship. She's like one of my best friends with Dr. Morgan. So I was like, all right, do you want to kind of test this out to see if we get like any positive reaction of a more dating like advice show? So we did like one pilot and it was so much better. And I felt good about it because as you know, as you do your show, when you do a show with purpose, when you have a meaning behind it, it's just like so much more fun to do it. And since we had a purpose behind it, we wanted to teach, you know, the latest love advice, take questions and share share her expertise, Dr. Morgan. Yeah, it just became a more meaningful show for me every week.
Yeah, absolutely. So back when it was more bachelorette style, was your motivation back then more so for entertainment purposes? Were you trying to help people find love?
It was just like, let's just do a fun show. It was like a fun idea. Let's start this. It was total entertainment purpose.
Very cool. Well, that's really cool to see how many people you've impacted, including myself as a viewer. So that's really cool to see how it's transformed over time.
Awesome.
How long do you think it took, if you could remember, how long was it until Dr. Morgan got on board?
Um, yeah, good point. That was probably within the first, you know, I did the bachelorette style show for at least 2 weeks. At that time, I'd probably been streaming for a couple months. So I built up enough of an audience that I was like, okay, it's worth her coming. When I first started on the platform, like we all start somewhere. I didn't know how to stream. You know, I had very little streaming audience, but I just kept building and making connections and got to a point where I was like, okay, I feel like we could have a decent audience to like be worthy of her time.
Absolutely. So now that Love Quest has been in full bloom and you've kind of established an audience, how do you believe that it's impacted the community in a positive way?
Yes, some of my favorite messages are, hey, I don't watch Love Quest anymore because I found a partner. And I've gotten some of those, which is just like I needed like, I've asked people, they need to film me some testimonials. I already have at least 2 people that have literally sent me that message. They've gotten off Sorry, Mimi. We've gotten people off the platform. But yeah, it's an amazing feeling when you get that message. And the whole point of the show is to teach you the tools you need. So honestly, I think everyone will be successful at some point. It's just we're all on different timelines. The whole point of it is just to like teach you some of the best methods and stuff like that.
Very cool. Very cool. So when can we catch Love Quest?
Yeah, we switched up the time. We used to be a 7 p.m. show. Now we're early, 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern, every Thursday.
I'm just curious. How do you feel the time change has impacted the show? Do you think it's better or worse or the same?
I'll say this: when you do a show with a superstar, her needs come first. So again, the fact that I get to do a show with Dr. Morgan is just amazing. And so the time works best for her. That's what matters. And so for me, it's a little tougher. I have a very West Coast based audience that throws it at me a lot and lets me know they can't make it. But again, the fact that I even get to do the show is everything. So yeah.
Absolutely. Blake, I think that's all that I have for you right now.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have Mojo jump in the box. We're gonna kind of have the same conversation, and then it's Jilly Baby will join us, and then I'm gonna have all four of us come together, and we're gonna kind of dive into like live streaming in general.
Before I forget, I would like to say this because you were kind of talking about like influencers, micro influencers. I have a couple thoughts. One, I work in the advertising space, and sometimes there's a misconception, like even for us, I'll take someone who's got like 5,000 followers that are true followers that really like believe in that person to like work with in advertising, as opposed to someone who's got hundreds of thousands but yet doesn't have a true audience. So that's just from the advertising perspective. From the true person perspective, you are an influencer if you can say one thing to someone that's going to change their day. So I think we are all influencers in our own right, and I think we should take that kind of seriously, or like kind of take that as a sense of pride. Like if you are able to talk on a live stream and someone's going to act differently and hopefully a good way, like you are influencing someone. So don't get this misconception that you have to have like hundreds of that. Like we are all influencers our own way, and we can all make a difference. So that's all. I love you all. Peace.
I love that. Thank you, Blake, for sharing that. So if you guys are tuning in, my name is Gabby. This is In It Together with Gabby and Gabby because Sammy's not here today. She's sick. On the show, we talk about self-development, self-healing, and happier living, and we relate all of our topics to mental health in some way. So far, we've talked about the impact that celebrities or influencers or micro celebrities can have on the community by using their platforms to spread awareness on things such as mental health. So we have Blake, who was just with us talking about his featured content called Love Quest and how it impacted the community. We're going to have Mojo jump in the box if you're here. We're going to talk to him next about his featured show. And then we're going to have It's Jilly Baby come on, talk about her featured show. And then I'm going to give everyone the opportunity to come back and plug other things they have going on in the app and talk a little bit about how those things can also impact the community. So hello. What's going on, Mojo?
You guys hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I hear you now. Yeah.
Hey everyone, how's everyone doing tonight? How's everyone doing? It's good to be here.
I'm glad you're here, Mojo. Thank you so much for being on the show.
I'm glad to be here.
You are a returning guest as well. So thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Yes.
So for those of us who don't know you, let us know a little bit about yourself, how you started live streaming, and tell us about your show.
So for those who don't know me in the chat, my name is Mojo. I've been on the platform for about 2.5 to 3 years. I started on the app out of necessity to gain more followers for Instagram because I'm a musician. So I would go live and play music. And when I started on the app, the sound quality, I guess, was different. Let's just put it that way. It wasn't the best. So it was pretty hard to like kind of play guitar and play and be like an instrumentalist, especially because I was like plugging in digitally through my phone. Well, now I'm like on my computer, but it was pretty hard to, listen. Like I was like, hey, can you like, screen record what I did or something? and then someone would like send it to me. And I'm like, what in the world? That's what it sounded like.
Right.
So kudos to Meet Me for improving the sound quality on the app. I remember the day that they did. It was probably like two years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. I think, yeah, Benny D, if you guys are like like veterans on the app, you would remember that the sound quality was not that great, especially for musicians. Like the guitars didn't sound like guitars. Dar remembers. I actually I met Dar. The first competition I ever was on was Unstoppable Idol, which was a show, and it still is. It's featured now. Congratulations to that. Every Sunday at 7 p.m. Unstoppable Idol. Yeah, it was terrible for music stuff. Yeah. So I was on that show and I was really, really, really nervous. I remember being very nervous. And the first time I tried the show, I won. Yeah, I won season 8. So, and it was very like nerve-wracking to be on a show like that. But I did win, and I gained a lot of followers from that. I gained a lot of followers just for who I am as a musician first. And then once I started to really get into streaming, like it wasn't till after Playlist 2020, like after I met 515 Dar at Playlist. No, just kidding. After I went to Playlist, that I was like, okay, I kind of got to start taking this a little bit more serious. People are actually making their livelihood off of this app, and it's just not just for, just going live sometimes and playing a tune. It's literally something that people could really build a following and build a community. It was a great community because, for one, if you go on Twitch, it's like it's really hard to get like natural like people to view your Twitch streams, right? Mm-hmm. So and to build like a following. But with this, is like it's its own little like community. So it's just like you could go live and have natural people coming in. You're like, hey, what is this? You know what I mean? And it was cool. It was really cool to see it more as an opportunity to build friendships, an opportunity to build followers and supporters.
Absolutely. So I have a question.
Yeah.
Streaming or I guess on general before you went on to Unstoppable Idol.
Repeat it again. You just broke up a little bit.
That's okay. How long were you on the app before you decided to go on to the Unstoppable Idol season 8?
Probably 8 months, something like that. I started like October of 2018. I saw the live streaming part of the app, like in August, September, October of 2018. And then I didn't really start streaming until the summer of 2019. Really, like I didn't really start like getting on the app and actually streaming until the summer. And that back then, we're like people were like, wow, oh my God, I got a castle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'd be like, oh my God.
Those were the good old days.
Good old days.
Those are the good old days. So, so you were a guest on a show way back when shows weren't so popular on the app, which was pretty cool. Did that help motivate you to start your own show, or was there another motivator?
Well, yes, in part it did. But I didn't want to. When I was approached in January of this year, I believe this year, yes, I was. When I was approached January of this year to do a show, I wanted to do a show. I really definitely wanted to do a show, but I didn't want to do a music show. Like I was like, there's so many.
Yeah.
I want something that has to do with music, but I didn't want it to be limited to the musicians. That was a very important point that I was trying to get across. I didn't want to just, I love the musician family on the app, right? But, you know, there's only so many, I guess, for them to be like, okay, well, I'm a musician. I'm gonna be on this show, this show, and then I'm gonna have to, you know, like repeat being on this show.
Right.
So I was just like, I don't want to just have the same people. I want it to be a music show, but I want to be open to a lot of people, a lot of different people. So that was like my main like agenda. Like I want it to be, my goal was, if I'm going to do a show, I want it to be open to so many people, and I want it to be interesting. You know, I want it to be fun and interesting and entertaining. A lot of my host abilities and my presence came from watching, you know, The Idol, watching different streamers, watching Chris Casper, watching how they handle their rooms. You know, I think we build our personalities sometimes, our hosting personalities, off of the people that we love to watch. You know, we try to build our platform off of the people that we try to, like, where we're watching, you know.
Right.
And if we see that they serve as a good representation of us, of what a host should be in our heads, you know, we start there. We're like, this is how you handle this, or this is the type of pitch you got to make your voice to make it like, you know, welcome everybody, etc. You gotta really like capture the audience's attention, and that's a really hard thing to do.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I actually have trouble finding my I'm not sure what I should call it. My persona as a host. I feel like I've definitely changed over time.
I think your persona is wonderful, Gabby. It really is.
Your persona is
very natural. It's very natural, and it's very like you. You know what I mean? I think everyone in the comments could agree. Like, it's like you, so it's cool.
I appreciate that. I try. So how do you believe, so your show it's really cool because yes, it does involve the music community, which is kind of limited, but you're really involving a lot of the live community. People who maybe have never even streamed before are able to participate on your show. How do you think your show has impacted the community in a positive way?
Well, at first I was so scared to do a show. Like, the pilot did not go as I wanted it to. You know, it wasn't close to perfection. So the first thing I did was, anybody that was on the show, anybody that saw the show for the first time, I asked them, what should I do? You know? And it was hard. It was really hard because I needed the I know I could take criticism. That's for one thing. So I wanted the feedback, the good and the bad. So I'm just like, well, I'm definitely interested in what people have to say. I'm definitely interested in what people have to say. And I know that I loved what I did. Like, I love what I did, but it needed to be something better, you know. And I think Casper at the time and I, we saw it as something that is had a lot of potential. So, you know, it took a while for it to be featured, but I didn't give up. I was frustrated sometimes. I spent a lot of hours on the content. Probably I spent, because I had to create the songs myself, I probably spent 18 to 20 hours. Like, I would literally be like, 3 days before the show, I would be like composing all this stuff, literally falling asleep in my computer chair, like really falling asleep, like tired, like exhausted. And then I would get to the show, I would be awesome, and then it would be like 10 people there. So I believed in the product, and I was about to give up because I I didn't say this to many people, but I was almost like in tears, like, well, I don't know what to do because I'm doing so much and I want people to see it. And it was really kind of frustrating, because it was like around the time like a lot of people were still trying to get back, especially people that are on the creative side to get the banners and everything together. So there was a bit of a delay, but I was still working the show out. And I don't like talk about this, and a lot of people know that I don't really talk about, but I give out, I do personally give trophies to people that win the show. They get their name on a trophy or a plaque, and it's that something I talk about. Like, I don't like come on the show, yeah, win this trophy. I don't talk about it. It just happens. Like, I have this deal, and and because it is something that I saw, like, I want to give back to the community. I want to give back for the efforts, because the people that are on my show, Dar has been on my show many times. I know how hard it is. I know how hard it is. It's very hard. But the people that do the show, like, I appreciate them so much. And, giving back to the community is something like in that form for me, but also having them on the show, I'm so appreciative to them, and it makes them feel like even the not really about the trouble, but even like the feedback that they're able to give. Like, we're having issues with the finale and the way it was run. And then I opened up like I was part of the group, but I opened up like 5 or 6 people in a group. And I was like, what needs to happen in order for this to be better? Because I don't know. I need your input. Like, I need your input. And they literally went to work, and they were in the group. They literally went to work, and they were just like, this could happen differently, or that could be different, or this could be different. And I looked at them. I looked at all their comments and all their input, and keep in mind that I'm the creator, but I wanted to get their input. So I revamped the whole finale and gave them something. And, when I did it the last season 6 was the finale, they looked at it and they were like, this is what we need. Like, this is great. This is exactly the cleanup that we're looking for. Like, it's cleaner. It makes more sense, things like that. So I was happy that it wasn't just me, but it was everyone involved to say, hey, this is exactly. So this is exactly what the show needed, and people put their input in it. And as for the community, I could never have the show the way it is without them.
Absolutely.
And their feedback, because I'm not looking, because there's a Name That Tune on Fox. Like, I never sat down and watched a Name That Tune on Fox. I never did. I never looked at it. Probably about 4 seasons into my show, I kind of looked at it. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't take any of the show ideas and implement it into my show. They're all pretty much like original or from the community in general. But I had to watch it, so I know in the future I don't kind of borrow from them. Yeah. I kind of want to have my own experience. And it is its own kind of entity and its own kind of like striving thing. And like I said, it wouldn't be where it is if it wasn't for, people like Dar or, Kim Possible or Princess Indy or anybody that watches the show from its conception to now. It wouldn't be anywhere like it wouldn't be anything like it is now. So, definitely had to do with the community.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like that you
like that you
mentioned.
mentioned
I'm hearing myself.
hearing myself out.
You hear me
You
okay?
hear me okay? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I like to hear how your show transformed over time. Mine transformed over time. Blake's did. We'll hear from Jilly soon about her show. Um, it's really cool that you use the community almost to your advantage because, it's actually somebody gave me, I can't remember who, but they told me, hey, your viewers are there for you and they're watching. Why don't you ask them their opinion? That's a really good tool to use, especially if anybody here is wanting to create their own show. I mean, don't be afraid to ask opinions of your audience. That, and I also it's just really cool the way that you're able to impact the community, and it almost makes them feel like they're like part of the show creation, which is really, really cool. So
Yeah.
so
They have more of a personal connection to it. And with that, my retention is really way up there.
yeah,
For
absolutely.
like because they have a personal connection to it. Like it's a part a part of them exists in the show.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's really
really, really
cool.
cool. That's really, really cool. Well, if you guys haven't favorited Mojo yet, please hit him with a favorite. I'm gonna have you exit, and we're gonna have Jilly come in and tell us a little bit
Thank
about
you
the
so much.
show. And if you three have the time, I know we're running a little bit over, but if you guys have the time to jump in one last
Yeah.
time, if anybody has any questions for any of the show creators, this would be a really good time to ask. So write down your
Cool.
questions and stay tuned. We might go over a little bit, but peace out, Mojo. This is In It Together with Gabby and Sammy. My name is Gabby. Sammy's not here tonight; she's sick. But on the show, we talk about self development, self healing, and happier living. And today, we're talking about the shows on the app and how live streamers are able to impact the community. Now we have it's Jilly Baby joining us. This is her first time on the show. Hello.
How are you?
I'm
I
great.
finished my show, so it's still on in the back.
Thank you so much for joining us, Jilly. I'm really excited to get you on. We've been trying to get you on the show for a while.
Yeah, for a couple of things. I know, and I'm glad we're here. This is the perfect time.
We're here and it's happening. So for those of us who don't know you, introduce yourself, how you started streaming, and tell us about your featured show.
Yeah. Well, my name is It's Jilly Baby. I started streaming much like how a lot of people found the app when COVID hit. So last year around March, I actually just got on the app. I found it through a friend via, we were, when COVID first hit, everybody was trying to find ways to socialize. So you have like house party and like Zoom. So we were like on a Zoom little party, and she was looking at her phone and then just kind of ended up telling me about Plenty of Fish. I remember Plenty of Fish when it first came out many, many, many years ago. And I was like, this can't be real, right? Plenty of Fish is just kind of like this like dating wasteland. Sorry. I mean, I love POF, but and she's like, there's this live feature, and it just kind of morphed from there. And I actually went live most of the time just to chat with her. And then it like just turned into this whole thing. And I was just telling somebody else today, like, I wish I, like, the things that I know now, I wish I at least some of it knew then, because I would have like maybe started and tracked things, like even for like memory purposes, or just to kind of do that a little differently. But from then I didn't start really doing it seriously till about summertime into June, July. And then it just kind of really started sparking my own personal creativity that I've always kind of been into. I've always been into just a lot of like creative art stuff, from writing to music, to all kinds of stuff. So the platform just gave me an opportunity to kind of do the things that I love, in terms of just talking with people, meeting people, being creative and coming up with things. And it just kind of took off from there. And I've been hooked ever since. I've never touched any type of other live streaming platform. So this is like my first introduction. And I've been going at it since then. My show is Entanglements. When the question came up about positively impacting the community, I have to be honest, I cringed a little bit about it because my show, guys. So my show is, Chris oftentimes refers to my show as like the Maury of the app. So the show is about the messy side of love, right? I mean, we all come on these apps. I'm on POF, so it's a dating app, right? And how I describe it is you have the beautiful side of love with all the butterflies and all the fun things, and then you have the messy side and the bad experiences that people have. And on entanglements, people come on and they share those stories. So it encapsulated a way to, one, for entertainment, two, there's a side of it too where you can kind of look back on your situation sometimes and just laugh at your pain, right? You kind of just find a way to just be like, man, back then I really went through something really crappy. I can look back at it and just, you kind of in one say just kind of be like, man, I was really oblivious, or I was just really kind of like blind to that. But also, people, even though they do get in the comments and they make jokes and stuff like that, a lot of times just the way that you can see yourself in somebody's positive experience, you can also see, something that you've experienced. And sometimes you kind of look at it and you be like, well, I had a bad situation, but it wasn't that bad, like, or, good thing it wasn't this, or I can relate to that. People share also how they've overcome maybe some of those bad situations that they got out of. And I think that life and everything is a journey, right? So you can tell a past story and then you get to talk about how you're here now. And I always find that people, when you really take the time to maybe dissect a lot of things that happen to you, and I talk about that in my stream, like everything happens for a reason and a purpose. And sometimes we may not always see that. And so sometimes it's really nice to have that moment where you share something and then you can kind of look back and be like, if this hadn't happened, then this wouldn't have happened and this wouldn't have happened and I wouldn't have ended up where I'm at now. So, it is a lot of craziness that goes on during the show, but we have a good time. And it's kind of like a nice, like a little comic relief and kind of stuff that people kind of come to hang
That's
on the
really
show.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The first time I've seen your show was for that first 15 minutes today, and it was very interesting because that actually was probably kind of a traumatic experience for those two individuals, those two women involved. But it is interesting to see how you can bring a light to it, and hopefully that person has grown from that situation. We hope. Um,
And it's, you never know like what people are going through. People tell their stories, and then what I do is I actually take notes. I have a post-it notepad and I take notes and I map this whole story out, and then I just retell the story. But they are for people. They're a range of emotions and range of experiences for them that kind of go through that, and we only get to see one side of it, right? So you get to experience that through whoever's the storyteller is, right? I'm sure if we brought other, you can kind of see that. But it is, there are some pretty intense stories. So there are some pretty like intense moments.
so what motivated you? I know you have a lot of shows on the app, but for Entanglements in particular, what motivated you to start the show?
So we'll take you back to this. I tell this all the time. So when I originally, one of the first times I went to shows, I actually finally like curated content I wanted to see was Chris's show. And I saw that he was interviewing people and talking to people and sharing their story. And I was like, I want to be on the show. And I remember I have to go back. It was like October of last year, like September, whatever. And it was one of his posts. It was a post that he had put up from being at Playlist or something. And I remember commenting on it saying, hey, how do I get on your show? And I had wanted to like be on the show. I just wanted to share. And I had ended up getting my top badge removed from that. I mean, from later on from there. And I was on, and Blake, I think Blake was also there. I kind of heard that. But I was on, I was getting my badge and I was in the box. And then before I got off in front of everybody, I was just like, hey, I've messaged you. I want to be on your show. Like, how do I get on your show? And then from that point forward, he had messaged me after and was like, are you interested in kind of doing your own show? Like your personality for it. And I was like, yeah, sure, absolutely. I pitched him Entanglements and he said no.
Oh, wow.
First time I did it, he said no. He said no. Those of you who have had, I'm sure when you had your show meetings, you have your little idea pitching things. And so he came up with this whole other show. He wanted to do some dating show. And I was like, okay, can I just sit on it? Can I just, think about it? And how we kind of explained, like, you're responsible for creating these things. So I sat on it for like almost a month. It was like 3 weeks. And then I reached back out to him and I said, listen, I get what you're trying to do, but if it's not my jam, and I think every Mojo had touched on this too. Like, if you're not passionate about it, I was like, if you were gonna give me all my guests, you were gonna give me a script, you were just, I'll do that. I can read some stuff, I can do everything. But if I have to do all of the work, then it has to be something I'm passionate about. This show, I'm telling you, I could make it work, but it's not gonna last because it's not
You
fun to
don't have
me.
the drive for it.
Right. And so I told him, I said, listen, because I was doing it already. I was doing it on Tuesdays. I said, can you just please come this week to when I'm doing the show? Just come sit through it and just see it, how it happens versus me trying to explain it to you. He comes in, watches the show. In the first 10 minutes, he's like, approved. Go ahead, you can have the show. So it really just morphed like that. It wasn't like, hey, I might want to kind of do this and this is what I want to do. It just happens to be that way. And you popped in for that first 15 minutes, but after that, it really was a conversation in a stream. It was literally Fiva, another top badge on here, Fiva Diva, had come into my stream and said, hey, I have a question. My ex reached out to me about this. She started telling me the story about their history. I literally had a Post-it pad next to me. I pulled the pad out. I said, wait a minute, I need to write this down. And I started writing it all down, and it turned into entanglements. Like this was literally the first thing that I did. And I was much more emotional on her thing. You know, there's a lot of like hell knows, but this was literally the first entanglement. And then from here, it's morphed into 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 pages of entanglements from that one interaction. It's an artifact interaction. And then it just became, what it is.
You know, I can relate because when I first wanted to start my show, a lot of people said, Chris isn't going to let you have a mental health show. And I'm like, well, I want a mental health show. So I kept trying, and, and he was skeptical of it. I didn't even ask him for it yet, but a few people were like, hey, just go watch it. And he ended up watching it and was like, all right, you're approved. So I'm sure entanglements without content probably sounds a little sus until you really watch it, but you're so organized, and it's not like people are coming on and just like gossiping. It's a lot more than that. So that's cool. That's really that's pretty interesting.
Into that, but you grow and change and you morph and you just kind of like kind of go with what's happening and stuff. So, but I enjoy it. Like I enjoy every week. Looking forward to people coming to just see like, hey, what's next, or what are we doing? What are we talking about today? So, I do. I enjoy doing that as one part of the app, my one featured contribution.
That's cool. So not only are people probably getting entertained from these stories, but they're probably learning a lot too. Maybe having a lot of realizations about themselves.
Yeah, you'll come in and you do get a lot of, I will not lie, like it does get intense in there with people trolling and just kiki and stuff. But, after the show and like days after we start talking about things, it does end up turning into, because other things that happen in that show, people come in, and we all experience this on the app, when people come in and they troll and they make comments. But when the show's done and you kind of have those after talks, you kind of sometimes end up like self-checking too, right? Like, well, maybe I wasn't, maybe in the moment I was feeling this way, but I guess I can kind of see how this person would have ended up in that situation, or giving somebody a little bit of grace of being like, oh, I might have been like, oh, that was such a dumb decision. But then you kind of sit back and think, and you'd be like, you know what? But when you're in love and this was going on, like, I kind of get how somebody would, possibly make that, make that choice.
Made some dumb decisions in love, which was now looking back now, I'm like, what were you doing?
Right. Absolutely.
Why?
Absolutely.
So Julie, when can we catch your show?
Tuesdays, 8 p.m. So right before your show. So you can come kiki and have fun and come to the Maury side of that, and then you can come here and get some great information on maybe how to process what you just experienced the hour before. But Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's my featured show. And then I do have other shows on the app that we also.
That could be an interesting guest share opportunity.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
I could send your way.
Yeah. So if you guys just tuning in, my name is Gabby. This is In It Together with Gabby, and Sammy's not here, but she's usually here, my dynamic duo. This is Jilly in the box. Right now we're talking about content creators and how we can positively impact the community. We have about 15 minutes left in the featured show, but if you would like to stay, and if Blake and Mojo would want to jump back in, and Mojo, I realize I didn't give you the opportunity to plug your show, so please do that when you get in the box. We're just going to have a group discussion about the relationships we have with our viewers, how we use our platform to spread awareness in other aspects of our lives, other shows that we would recommend people to watch, and then anything else you guys would like to plug. So if you guys want to join, we got Blake in the box as well, and then Mojo, if you're here, we'd love to have you back for this. This will be a good opportunity for you guys, anybody who wants to be a show creator. If you have any questions for any of us, this would be a really great time to ask here in about maybe 10 minutes or so. So write down your questions. Mojo. Oh, here we go. There it is. All right, we got the whole crew here.
Yeah, you had to get me on greens off the computer.
That's okay. Mojo, I didn't give you the opportunity to plug your show time. Would you please do that?
Oh, name that tune every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Wonderful. Yeah, sorry about that. I had you exit and I was like, oh man, whoops. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem.
Anyway, guys, so this is Jilly, Blake, and Mojo. We've talked to them about their featured shows already. So they'll plug their shows again soon before we end the stream here. But I'm going to ask you guys all the same questions. You can answer in the order you are in the box. So Jilly, then Blake, and then Mojo.
Nice.
So how do you feel your relationships are? Let me see if I can phrase this in maybe a better way. So there are parasocial relationships that we have with our viewers, which is different than like a big shot celebrity. How do you feel that the relationships you have with people on here are more personal and intimate than like versus if you were like an actual celebrity? Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'd like to have Sammy here. Sammy, where are you? I need you to help me.
Not a celebrity yet? No, I'm just kidding. No, what I like though, is I really do. I think all of us, we spend a lot of time on here, right? There is a lot of time on here, and if you're really engaged and really trying to be a part of the community, you cannot avoid like those parts of it, right? And I have like a set of people that we just talk on live, but you have your community that we also attach a lot of what we do to our social media. That is another touch point, access point. There's people that we talk to, DMs that I know a lot of my viewers like. I remember a lot of what their personal life is on. You share things, topic, especially when you have topic streams and they're sharing their stories and stuff. You can't, it's hard to avoid not having that personal connection, even if it's just seeing them come in your live, to just be like, oh my gosh, it's so nice to see you. How is your mom doing? You were here last week and you said this was happening. What's going on? I also think it's a personal, everybody runs their lives differently, right? Some people choose to get that connected and engaged, and then some people that's just not their ministry, right? I come here to stream and it's just stream, and then we kind of, you kind of go on about your day. So I think it's like personal choice. I think that I personally enjoy that. Like I'm a personality type is to get engaged with my viewers. And I think that only kind of enhances the connection that you have and people that come to see you. But I will be honest and say that sometimes, and that's probably a whole other discussion, but separating your outside life and your app life becomes I will tell you I hate saying real life, but my app life has certainly started to take over my real life connections in a certain way where, I had to really in the last couple of months been like really conscientious about like connecting with like my friends pre-app, than doing it. So it does kind of become bigger than what I guess you would normally expect if you just started coming on the app. You're just kind of like, yeah, I'll stream. And then you become a content creator and you're on all the time, or you get your top badge and you get on, and all of a sudden you're just like, oh my gosh, you just kind of feel I guess a different sense of, I don't know, is it loyalty or a different sense of like, I gotta check in, you know what I mean? Like that thing,
What about you, Blake?
Yeah, I mean, the way Meet Me is designed, it is a very interactive app. I mean, even when, other well-known people came on the app, they still, even when you're streaming, you're still engaging, you're still talking, like the app is set up for that. So it doesn't matter what level you are, you're going to be interacting, you're going to be talking. So it's really cool in that respect. Also, the app has like a gifting. know Jilly Mojo, and we all share that. Like anyone who supports us, it means the world. Like I can't explain how incredible it is, and like that's amazing. Like people supporting us, like is just the best feeling, and like we take that so with such gratitude and love. We're so appreciative. So really, like that's a deeper connection, I think, than just like if you watch someone on TV or you know what I mean. Like you are actually like I don't know, you're making an impact on our lives, and like for that, like we are grateful. And then yeah, I would say, I mean, having a show every week is cool because you get to see the same people each week. So it's like they have a set time that they know that, hey, I can come, I can interact with you. So I feel like having that schedule also allows for more continuity because you're getting to see people each week and getting to check in. And for me, it's like on Love Quest, hear about the love journey, stuff like that. So
It's really cool. How about you, Mojo?
Well, to not, be, redundant with everyone saying I agree 100% with Jilly and Blake, but also we have to look at the fact that when you're acting, you're given a script and you're given a character. Meet Me, they're following you and they're falling in love with you because of who you are. It's more of a raw approach to you. It's who you are. So it's in going off of what Jilly said, it's hard sometimes to separate the personal life from the Meet Me life because you're putting so much of your personal self into Meet Me. You're putting so much of you into it. So people are liking you for who you are, not some character that's written out, and played on the screen. So it's very different.
So have
Yeah.
all four of us met people from the platform in person? I think all four of us have probably.
Lots of people.
That's really cool.
Lots of people.
So it really, really is mending both worlds.
And that's a good thing. That's a good thing because a lot of people aren't capable of meeting other people. You know what I mean?
Real life.
Off the app, it's like,
Right.
it's like he's cool. You can meet him. He's not. So it's really cool. It's really cool to have that respect. Other people are like, yeah, Mojo's cool. He's not a wacko.
The app is like every day for some of us, right? So if you're a celebrity or something, you may get one chance, one interact, one
right
every day. You guys
every day.
Some of them know your schedule, right? Oh yeah, and Tuesdays just goes to the gym at this time. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Like it's an everyday thing, right? And it's hard not to. You're right. It's a real raw.
Yep. Oh, just really quick. That was the first Name That Tune trial out.
Oh man.
The very first.
Okay.
The very. I took a marker, and this is the very first.
Blake? Where's your
yes,
right up?
Blake. You have it. I know Blake has it.
Come on, Blake. Come on.
Mine's in a folder way over there.
We gotta take screenshots. We gotta frame this stuff. Seriously.
Find it.
You gotta frame it. I'm gonna frame it. I was like, Jilly's has hers. I'm gonna frame mine. Like, I'm gonna frame this. That's like, this was the start. This was the start.
Okay.
Look, it's like winner, best ears. It's like weird.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, mine. I have everything in a folder, but I would have to go searching now. It would take me a few minutes.
On your Instagram, that's our challenge today, and tag each other and be like, I found it.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty cool. Let's do it.
First show.
We're looking for you, Blake. We're gonna post ours, and we're looking for Blake and Gabby.
Well, first of all, Blake probably has his typed out, not written out. I feel like Blake is very like technological.
Yeah.
I saw your vision board, okay, and it was literally like the most like technologically advanced vision board. Mine literally just like a bunch of stuff stuck together. I was like, man, yours looks so professional.
I know.
Preschool.
Okay.
It's really awesome.
So I just have two more questions for you guys, and if you guys don't mind, like sticking around, if anybody has any questions about maybe becoming a content creator, if you guys want to stick around, you can. If not, that's okay. What do you guys use the platform for other than your featured content?
Therapy. No, I'm kidding. Um, me personally, it's one I can talk about, using the platform. It is a source of income for me, so it is that. I used to, like I said before, like creative outlet. Like I really, I like to do the fun feature stuff, but I really do take this opportunity, seriously, in the sense of it is a huge platform and space to make an impact greater than myself, right? For something other than my personal gain. I did a lupus awareness day stream that I'm really passionate. I share that and share my journey. I talk about that on my stream. And then on top of that, other awareness things, but encouragement, fun, we like to bring fun content. I mean, today I had an amazing stream today. I spent a stream asking my viewers, if you were a wrestler, what would your entrance song be? And we recreated everybody's entrance song. It was amazing, you know what I mean? But it's like fun stuff like that, like you just, this is a great place to come for where if you have an idea with your friends and you don't think anybody would do it, and they can come on this app and be like, all right, guys, so I'm thinking about doing it. And you throw it out there, and it's a great place to try stuff out, But it was really fun. But I use it for that, creative outlet, have fun. This can be a break, a relief, and then to network and then share other things that I have that I'm working on.
Cool. How about you, Blake?
Yeah, I think it's a couple pieces. Yeah, just being super social. I would say our LA family is super close. Me, Alien, Hina, Hippie, we become like best friends. Like we talk all the time. Like we know each other super well. So I think it will always be, a community friendship outlet for me. Another piece is just me fulfilling my destiny. I feel like I've always wanted to be someone who was, on TV or, a host. And so that's my journey. And this is a piece of it that I'm so grateful for. I focus a lot on Instagram. I focused on Facebook for a while, and this has been that next piece. And then, or maybe Meet Me evolves at some point, as well. Even just on here, Meet Me could evolve to being more of, a broader spectrum. So it's just a piece of my destiny. So I'm so happy that this also ties in a community outlet as well. So it's a really good home for me, as Mojo said. Instagram, you're seeing a lot of, pictures of me, myself. Of me, I'm here, you're really seeing just it's a really fun piece that I get to actually be interactive and fun while also fulfilling destiny. And then third, for me, the big thing is mentorship. I take it so seriously. I feel so fortunate. I had some great mentors on this app. He used to be a top badge called Captain Catch. Super amazing dude, took me under his wing. I'll always be grateful. Was checking in with me on my favorites, checking in with me on, how I was streaming, and he helped guide me. Chris Casper, of course, helped mentor me at, with my show as well. So I think being in a position where you have some success on the app, it's amazing to be back and help mentor the next people so that we trickle that down and that becomes the norm.
Absolutely. Mojo, how do you use the platform other than your featured show?
So it's funny because when I first started, when I was streaming, it was so random. It was like, I was like, oh, I'm going to play the saxophone, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I have so many things that I wanted to do. And this show really gave me organization of my streams after it. It gave me a lot of organization skills that I was just like, oh, wow. This is kind of what the content you need to kind of plan your streams, Mo. And so I do there is a flow to my streams now. There's kind of a music part, a retro gaming part, a date box part, and it's pretty cool. It's definitely more content driven than pre Name That Tune. Right now it's just so a lot more content. So I'm planning this whole thing where I want to do the Raven So I want to do the poem reading of The Raven. So I want to do like a multi-box of like everybody like acting out the parts of The Raven. So and definitely like Blake and Jilly, like two amazing content creators on the app. Like I look up to you guys a lot for your ideas, because I'm like I look at some of your shows outside of your featured shows. I'm like, what the heck? This is amazing. Like, and like you guys give me a lot of inspiration, and you also as well, Gabby. Like, you guys give me a lot of inspiration to, kind of look at your my streams as like an avenue to create more content and to create like a following, like how can we create the same like kind of momentum that Name That Tune has, off the show. So that's where I'm kind of building and growing that kind of thing right now. So it's cool.
Awesome. Thank you guys for sharing all of that with us. My last question really is not so much a question, but if you have anything you'd like to plug or add or anything going on in your streams, you can let us all know. And then after that, if anybody has any questions about starting your own show or just live streaming in general, ask in the chat. You guys are welcome to stay, or if you have to go, that's fine. I know we're running over time. Uh-oh. Okay. Start with Blake then.
Come check out Love Quest every Thursday, 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern. And then I think it's November 12th. I will be throwing a birthday party / return of the karaoke. And yeah, that was a show I was doing every week. So in my prime on the app, I was doing a pet show that more transformed into pet. It was called Pet Happy Hour, my show. He's taken it to beyond the next level. And then I was doing my love show, and then I was doing karaoke every Saturday. So I'm bringing it back. November 12th, I think we'll do it. And everyone's going to be dressing up in full, outfits. Someone's going to be doing Whitney. Someone's doing Mariah, but like full on.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, there's that. I think, yeah, those are my two plugs. And yeah, just a general statement again. If you're thinking of doing a show, my biggest piece of advice is just to start doing it. I started my show when there was really no banner shows. Like it was just the ones that had been up there forever, like Carmen Sandiego and Ali. And I had no promises that I could have a featured show. I just like saw it on the banner. I was like, I'm gonna make this happen. And I just kept doing it and talking to my peoples and seeing what they liked, what they didn't like, kept making it better and better. And then, yeah, eventually Chris came, but like before he even came to my show, I worked on it myself. And so just get started on the idea, keep doing it each week. Even if you have one person who comes to your show to start, hey, you have one piece of feedback to help you out. So.
Absolutely. Blake, thank you so much for sharing. Mojo, anything else you got going on in your show?
Right now it's Name That Tune every Tuesday at 2 p.m. I'm gonna also start when I have my gigs around town. I'm gonna start doing live music streams.
That's awesome.
They're not gonna be. I do interact a lot, but for those who have seen my live streams, it's funny sometimes. In the past, I would have my gig and people would in the comments would say, replace this word with that word, and I would sing.
Oh, geez, that's awesome. That's fun.
But it wasn't bad. They weren't bad words. They weren't bad words.
Okay.
They weren't bad words, but they were funny. But I would replace them and I would sing them live. People would just look at me like, did he, what? And I would have fun because, it was just like my weekly gig. So I'm going to start doing that. I'm actually going to go live this Thursday at Flinders Lane. I'm going to do a live show there solo. So you guys can catch me doing my thing. And other than that. And as with Blake, going off of what Blake said about featured shows is, the best thing that you could do is be consistent with your time. And be consistent with like what time you have it every day and time, and also consistent in terms of structure,
Yeah.
like beginning, middle, and end. And that got me, you know, right now we're on our 7th season of Name That Tune, and there's a consistent structure. So for those who have seen it or have watched or have played, like there's a consistent like structure. So it's like a very organized structure, and that that's what a lot of shows like what to expect when you go into the show.
Yeah.
It's nothing is like surprise. We're gonna do something completely different. Welcome. No, it's really be consistent, be on time, and when you commit to a show, also when you're on a featured show of someone else's, and they advertise, make sure you're there. You know what I mean? Make sure if they're advertising on Instagram that you're a guest, make sure you're there. So.
Great.
And then people are like, wow, I'm gonna, if you show up on my show, then the chances of them showing up to your show are greatly, like, yeah, I'll show up, so definitely make sure you're there and supporting other shows as well, supporting the community as well. So
Absolutely. Jilly, I know you have a lot going on. I'm really excited to hear.
Okay, so let's see. So Mondays I brought back Gold Call. So I started doing this last year. I took a break over the summer, but we started this week again. So Mondays I do Gold Call on the stream. So everybody knows I love a good sticky note. So on Mondays, I ask anybody's open to. You want to come? You can give a goal. So the only requirements are it has to be specific. So you can't just be like, I'm going to work out this week. We're going to be like, no, what does that mean? I'm going to work out 3 days a week. Okay. And something that you're going to work to accomplish by Sunday. So it's just a streamer week. But write on a sticky note, put it on my wall. It sits behind me, and then we just keep accountable for it. People have really enjoyed it. I enjoy it. Goal setting for myself. So we do goal calls on Monday. It's only on Monday. So if you come on Tuesday and you're like, hey, can I get a goal? I'm going to respectfully just be only on Monday. You come back next Monday. So we do it Mondays. Tuesdays I have entanglement. And then Sundays I have Top Badge Squares. That is just my fun game show. If you've seen Hollywood Squares or Hip Hop Squares, it's the same concept. We've just brought it to the app. So we have a good time there. And then I have a few content pieces that I'm working on to come out with some of the DJs on the app. And then Sunday the 17th is actually, so I did my little raising $10,000 between the app coming to the stream and then POF matched that donation. So we raised money together. Shout out to POF for doing that. But the walk that we've been raising money for is actually on the 17th of October. So I will be doing a special stream while I go to, since it's COVID, it's not a big walk. Everyone's just going to, virtually find a space to walk. I'm going to go to the park that's by here. So we'll do our walk for the walk for that time period. So it'd be cool if everybody wants to pop by. Or you're in to virtually walk with me that day too on the 17th. Find some place to go take a walk that day. But follow me on my Instagram, it's Jilly Baby. I post everything that I'm doing. I'm very active on the app. So if you want to catch and know what's happening. My advice for everything that the guy said, but the big part is whatever you do, just make sure it's something that you're fun and you're passionate about. You like doing. Because if it's not something you're doing, you're not going to continue it. So make sure there's that piece. The other piece I'm very big about is this community. You are either a consumer or a contributor, and you contribute to the community. You would like to receive from it as well. So go to people's shows, promote people's shows. I'm a big advocate of that. Promoting people's shows every week. Go here, go here, go here, go here. Promote the shows. Content creators on here put a lot of hard work into their shows. You are all here and can attest to that. You put a lot of hard work into it. So, if you want to be a part of it and do that, just do it. Be passionate about it. Ask for help if you need it. And you got to be out there. You got to be out there. You got to be in people's faces. Say, I've got this. Come see me. Come see me. We're all here just from platform right now. Any of us here and many of the other content creators, if you just ask for help, are always willing to help and be like, yes, do you need me to come on your show? Absolutely. I've had people say that, oh, it's not your show. I'm like, care, you know, you know, if you want me to come on, because think about it, it's adjoining a platform, right? I'm gonna bring people that support me to yours. You're gonna put me in front of an audience that maybe I don't see in my regular streaming, you know, walking around, right? That we don't have, and vice versa. Yeah. So that's what I have.
All right. Thank you guys so much for sharing. It's like a bit of an echo. I don't know where that's coming from. Oh no, not you. My speaker's going off. I named her Echo. So guys, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I know we had some scheduling issues and we ran over time a little bit, but it's seriously such an honor to have you guys on. You three are like some like very respectful people on the app that do a lot of good stuff on here. And I look up to you guys just like Mojo said. I mean, seriously, you guys are really amazing. I mean, obviously, you have a really good, all of you have a good following of people who come and see you every day. So I know you're making an impact. Do you guys have anything else to add? If anyone has any questions for any of us, you can stick it in the chat and we'll answer it for you. Because we ran over time a little bit, but not too bad.
Not too bad.
Not too bad. Well, if you guys have any questions, either stick it in the chat or you can feel free to follow all of us on social media platforms and send us messages. Just like Jilly said, actually, I'm pretty sure all of us have probably mentioned that if you ever need any advice, we're all open books. I mean, you know what I mean? We're a community here. So if you're trying to create your own show, we're all very open to giving you any kind of advice or guidance. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. This is In It Together with Gabby.
Thank you.
Too bad Sammy wasn't here. She would have asked you some more specific questions about well-being and things like that, but that's okay.
You did a great job. You did a
Great job.
I appreciate it.
There we go.
Let me get some clapping in the comments. Clapping emojis, please.
Clapping.
Clapping hand. Yes.
There we go. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, you guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys favorite Blake, Mojo, and Jilly. Join their featured shows and their regular live streams because they have a lot going on. A lot of good stuff. Yeah, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you for being here. Hope you guys have a great night.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you guys for being here. This is In It Together with Gabby and Sammy, although Sammy's sick, so we didn't have her tonight, but this was a very good show. I hope you guys learned a lot. And yeah, please favorite my gifters of the stream if you haven't already done so. We have It's Jilly Baby, Blake Premier, and Lida. Thank you guys so much for being here. Oh my gosh, we got a wheel. Okay, I guess we can transition to a regular live stream now. So thank you all for being here. Jilly, thank you for the wheel. All right, well, actually, I should probably go to bed. I'm like sitting here like, should I go to bed or should I just stay up?